Hello and welcome. Today we're working on the BA2 Plus Financial Calculator. We're doing a tutorial, and this tutorial is the introduction to the time value of money. Hey, if you're new, my name is Jeff. I have lots of videos on the BA2 Plus, a lot of accounting, a lot of finance. So let's get started. So time value of money. The idea is a dollar today is worth more than a dollar in the future. And there's a couple of reasons for this. There's inflation. The dollar loses value because of inflation. It takes more dollars to buy the same amount. We can have interest. We can have a rate of return, so you can earn interest over time if you invest. The other is opportunity cost. You can choose one alternative over the other, so money is worth more today than it is in the future. Now, we have several calculators, but the two most popular calculators, or really the most popular, is the Texas Instruments BA2 Plus, and I'm going to recommend, if you're buying the calculator, get the professional model. It's just a little bit more, and it's totally worth it in terms of it's more durable, it's easier to change the battery. The BA2 Plus requires a little screwdriver to replace the battery, where the professional model does not. It has more functions, it's more durable, so on. So I'm going to show you how to do the keystrokes for both, but I'd really recommend the professional model. Now, there is an app that I'm using, and so you might want to have this on your phone. It's the BA Finance Prime by Ernest Brock. Not sponsored or anything like that. It's just I really like this app, and I can use it on my computer and my phone. I have a MacBook, so therefore I can use an iOS app on my computer. So one thing you want to do is, and I have a whole video on how to set up your calculator. You want to set up your calculator to be 4 decimal places. Now, the way you do it, the way this calculator works is there's a second function that's a shift key, and then format, and your calculator is set at 2 decimal places. So if you had any calculations, 4 times 3.33, then it would be 13.32. Well, if you have a calculator you want to set to 4 decimals, then you do second function, format. It says DEC decimal 4, enter, and then we clear out of that. Now it's going to show 4 decimals all the time. Now, what makes it a financial calculator? Well, right here in the middle, these functions N and I and PV and PMT and FV. So let's talk about and define those. The other one we have is above the interest rate is the periods per year. If I do shift, you can see P/Y, periods per year. So let's define this, make sure we understand all the same terminology. So P/Y is periods per year. Now, if we're working with a problem where the interest is compounded annually, then the periods per year would be years, so 5 years, so on. But if we worked with a problem that is semi-annually, then it would be times 2. So 5 years times 2 would be 10 periods. And it could be monthly. 5 years times 12 months is 60 months. So we always want to convert this into the periods per year. And then the number of periods would be, the 60 or whatever. So the periods per year would be 12. 5 years times 12 would be 60 periods. We're going to put in the annual interest rate, so we know the number of periods, the interest rate, and then we have a present value, which is PV, and a payment, which is PMT, and a future value, which is FV. So let me define these a little bit more rather than just the name. So P/Y is the compounding periods per year. So it'd be annual with 1, semi-annual would be 2, quarterly would be 4, monthly would be 12. And then there's 2 different ways to calculate the number of days. Some loans would use 360 days, some use 365 days. So in the fine print, you need to know, is this compounded 360 days or 365 days or annually, monthly, so on. So then once we have that, we need to figure out, well, how many periods are we talking about? Well, if it's 5 years monthly, that's 5 times 12, so we record 60 months. We're going to put in the annual interest rate. So if you have a car loan for 8%, then you plug in 8, you would plug in The periods per year is 12, and the number of periods would be 60. The present value is a single amount, or what we call a lump sum, at the very beginning of the problem. And then along the way there might be a payment that comes through as either positive or negative. So a payment is just a stream of equal payments. This is called an annuity, and it could be adding to the account with pluses or subtracting from the account with minuses. So one of the challenges when you first get started is handling positive and negative payments. If you're paying money into an account that's growing, or if you have a loan and that loan is going down, you have to figure out, what is the sign of the payment? Is it going a plus or a minus, inflow, outflow? You need to understand how that works. The next is future value, FV, future value. That's the lump sum or a single amount at the end of the problem. Now what we're going to do is take every problem. We'll end up having these 5 functions. We'll have at least 4. We'll have 4, and then we'll figure out the 5th one, and then we'll set the periods per year. So on the next video, check out the playlist. Next video, we're going to start with examples of how to do present value and future value and payments and so on your calculator. So hey, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.